There is a great and powerful secret, most holy and terrible, within the depths of my bowels. Donkey Punch! Willkommen to CG Vovo. Willkommen to CG Vovo. Willkommen to the CG Vovo. Pig fuckers. Willkommen to the CG Vovo. Willkommen to the CG Vovo. On the bright morning spring, we will talk about Fortean things. Pig fuckers.
It's been a while, but welcome to CG Woo, the show that showcases the Fortean, the strange, the weird, and whatever the fuck else I think is cool. This is supposed to be Comicsgate and Fandom Menace adjacent, and it still is, and I'm very, very proud to associate myself with these communities. But I kind of like to lean back like a swing jazz drummer and play on the upswing, if you know what I'm saying. And the show goes off the rails, and that's just sort of how I roll, so it's going to go off the rails. First of all, just for some housekeeping, imagine that. First time ever, episode 5, we did housekeeping on CG Woo Woo. But anyway, just to let you know, it's been a few months since I did the last episode, and that's just because there's been a lot of things going on. My lady of 13 years finally made me an honest man, and I got married again for the third and final time. And also, I've just been, getting back into the swing of things with my faith. I'm a man of faith, and so I've been doing a lot of religion stuff, a lot of church stuff, and I just haven't been interested in picking this up until now. So anyway, hi guys, but I have been doing a lot of video output as far as creating new videos. I make a lot of slideshows with these AI generated images, and there's a lot of cool stuff as far as concepts. I've done a few riffs on Jason Reza Giorgiani and Robert Sepeher. I'm really fascinated with both of their work and some of their mythos. I took a riff on some of it and mishmashed it with a little Lovecraft, which is already there in Jason Reza Giorgiani's work. But I came up with some very interesting concepts, and so I've put a lot more videos out, and I guess I'm getting more visibility because I now have 22 subscribers. That's amazing. How about that? I had 12 apostles for a very long time. And once in a while I would even lose one and gain one. And so I now have 22 subscribers. Ain't that some shit? So anyway, I'm also going to do another first. Smash the like button and hit subscribe if you enjoy listening to my content. One thing I'll tell you about me is I'm a huge animal lover. Me and my wife, we have like a little colony out on our patio. We do the trap neuter release with all of the feral cats in the neighborhood, and we have shelters for them, and they use them a lot, especially during the winter. And I feed them, and they're very well taken care of. And also, I fucking love possums. Possums are fucking awesome. They get such a bad rap because of their naked pink tail, but let me tell you something, they're amazing. They do not carry rabies. They're actually immune to rabies. and they eat fleas and ticks. In fact, an adult possum eats 5,000 ticks a year. They are amazing. They're amazing animals, and they're very good to have around, unless, of course, you keep chickens, because they're going to kill and eat those because they know what's good. But you know something? To get into the Fortean, I will use that as a jumping point, because I heard a very disturbing story about raccoons. One thing that that my religion teaches is that animals, obviously, they're not culpable for their actions like humans are, because they only act according to their nature. We have the will to create. We have the will to behave not according to our nature if we choose. We have all sorts of amazing things we can do with this occipital lobe of ours. But animals, basically, there's no evil among them, apparently, because they're just acting according to their nature, and they can't act otherwise, unless, of course, they're sick or something, and that's just a part of nature. But I've heard some things about raccoons. A gentleman was saying that he went hunting with his favorite dog, and his dog was drinking, he was lapping up some water by a creek, and apparently a raccoon, and raccoons basically have opposable digits. It's actually cute. You can actually watch raccoons pick up a corn on the cob and twirl it around because they have opposable digits. But this raccoon came up behind the dog as it was lapping the water up, and grabbed its head and forced it down under the water to try to drown this dog. And if the owner hadn't come and chased the raccoon away, or I don't know if he shot it or if he just chased it away, but anyway, he stopped the raccoon from drowning his dog. And he was so shaken by it, he was crying, because that's his family. Anyone who's an animal lover and a pet lover, that they're members of your family. And another thing I heard about raccoons is that obviously they're going to go for chickens. If you keep chickens, you really need to keep the chicken coop closed up, especially if you're doing urban farming or something like that. I don't really know all the details of everything as far as free range chickens go, but anyway, I heard a story about raccoons that got into a chicken coop, killed the chickens, but before they had gotten in, they had actually reached through the chicken wire and pulled the baby chicks through the fucking grates. And it was grisly. The baby chicks were just or what was left of them were hanging out of the fucking grates. I mean, that's like a maliciousness. I mean, maybe I'm I'm obviously not an animal whisperer. I'm my wife, she's the one who's the animal whisperer and knows about all animal behavior and is able to pick up on their signals. I'm I've got a bit of a learning curve, but I love animals very much. But it seems like there's a maliciousness, I don't know what the point would be in murdering that dog. Was he going to eat the dog? Who knows? But that's pretty creepy and Fortean to me, because it raises all sorts of questions if you go down the rabbit hole. Okay, next item of Forteana. I'm only going to deal with this briefly because, I've been so black-pilled it makes me sick, and there's been a lot of white pills lately, and I'm very, very grateful for them. But, I really hope the world doesn't go to shit any more than it already has, and I really hope that it doesn't go to shit again in this country as it was beginning in 2020. You know, never forget what those cunts did or what they're still trying to do to our republic, and that's all I'm really going to say, because I'm not going to presume to preach to adults, you know. But we really need to be vigilant, you know. Just, you know, hope for the best. I don't want to expect the worst, but, you know, just be ready to fight. Just be ready to come out swinging. That's all I have to say.
Hello? My name is Sunflower Man.
Hey, what the fuck was that, man? That cat's crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm a superhero. My power is the power of the sunflower. Especially in the springtime, I am Sunflower Man.
Holy shit, man. What kind of cat is this?
I'm in this area. Sunflower. That's my power.
God damn. All I see is sunflower seed kernels.
Yeah, but they're already shelled and salted. That's my power.
Holy fuckballs, man. I never realized that shelled salted sunflower seed kernels were so good. It was so disgusting trying to shell them and spit them out all the time.
Now, do you want to see my real power?
Wow, you mean you got more than what's going on right here with all these sunflower seed kernels?
I know what you are.
God damn it, don't you come near me. I got one of these things I ordered off of the YouTube. It's a big old stick and it's foldable and you can beat up a big old tin can with it.
Well, bitch, didn't I tell ya? I'm Sunflower Man.
I'm Sunflower Man. Oh my god, what's going on here? I'm just a disinterested third party that walked in on this.
Well, hello, I'm a friend. Have some sunflower kernels.
Wow, these are really top notch.
You're welcome, big fucker.
Now, buzzer, I know what you are, Sunflower Man. Pardon me, but could I get some more seeds?
Sure, big fucker.
Wow, these are top-notch too.
Yeah, damn right.
You know, one thing I really miss about the days when I would let my wolf come out and I would eat people is the ones that had the really good marbling on them. Wow, sometimes I would take along a packet of steak seasoning and I'd tie it around my neck because I knew my wolf was too lazy to reach around the nape of his neck to scratch it off. But boy, oh boy, when I was ready to get down to eating, that was there. Good thing my wolf's such a lazy fucker, I'm just saying. And by wolf, I mean my wild, ostentatious, official fuckface. And I assault people with that shit wherever I go. I'd like to do some blazing saddles if you know what I'm saying. I mean, goddamn, that barbecue sauce sounds good about now. Now, the digital djinn is doing a fucking hand jive with a lead pipe, so don't get your dumb ass caught off guard. Not that you're dumb, just we're all dumb. Actually, no, I'm gonna fucking own it. I called you dumb. We're all dumb. Especially when we're talking about the digital djinn. But they're not omnipotent. And they can't read your mind. But they can make some pretty damn good guesses with their fucking algorithm, or algoritmo, if you feed it. And now we're going to do a little slideshow exegesis, so to speak, except for the parts that I'm not going to do exegesis on. And the mythos that I'm referring to has a lot to do with the Shining Ones. The Shining Ones are the literal translation of, words like El and Il and Al and, the root word for God in many Indo-European languages, Indo-Aryan languages. And there's a lot of speculation as to what these beings are, but in the mythos of both Robert Seppeher and Jason Reza Georgiani, we're referring to the Nordics, the Nordic Annunaki. And have a lot of cool images that the AI spat out at me when I fed them some of these riffs that I took on, just visualizing them as they were described by Georgiani and Seppeher. And according to the mythos of Jason Reza Georgiani, he says that the Nordic Annunaki are actually evolved from German followers of Tiny Mustache Man, who, sometime in the 30s sometime in the 30s or 40s, perfected time travel through the use of Der Glocken and having some sort of underground base in Neuschwabenland in Antarctica. And he writes about this in his fiction and nonfiction work. I mean, but anyway, I'm not going to get too much into the weeds here, but essentially, they're basically a loop, and he very accurately, visualizes it as an Ouroboros that bites its tail and, forms like this time loop, because basically the Nordic Anunnaki evolved from these followers of Tiny Mustache Man during World War II, and mastered time travel and went to a point in time where they would have the least deleterious effect on the human timeline, because obviously, if you go backwards in time, you're going to really, really screw things up, and you might just, negate your own existence, because you don't have to kill someone, you don't have to knock someone out of the way. All you have to do is be seen, and you're affecting the timeline, because, the farther back in time you go, you're going to get to a point where everyone who is alive, who has, offspring who have survived to the present day, are your direct ancestors. There just comes a tipping point where, the total number of living relatives that you have alive at the time, it gets exponentially bigger the farther back in time you go. And of course, the population gets smaller. So there comes a point where everyone who's alive they're all your relatives. And so, if you even mess up one thing, you could start a chain reaction of events where, whole cross sections of your DNA makeup, just never happened, or happened something, totally different, and you're not even the same person. Because, let's say even if, your father, on the day you were supposed to be conceived, arrived a little later than he did in the original timeline to get it on with your mom. And the thing is, how likely is it that the exact same seed is going to fertilize that egg? Because unless it's the exact same seed fertilizing the exact same egg, even if they name the child your name, it's not going to be you any more than your siblings are you, because you have the exact same mother and father. So you could make all kinds of, you could butterfly effect your entire past and human history. So anyway, that's a roundabout way of, describing why they needed to go to a point in the timeline that would have the least deleterious effect on human history. So what they ended up doing was they went to, Mars 5 million years ago, at the time that it's believed that Mars had an atmosphere. And basically they, colonized it and had their civilization, and evolved into these, these regal, 9-foot tall, Nordic, angelic looking, creatures. They're not extraterrestrials. In a way, they're extra dimensional because there is a spiritual element to them. But from that vantage point in history, they pretty much came down and became the Anunnaki, and became the shining ones, or the giants, or the Elohim, or whatever you want to call them. This is according to Jason Reza Georgiani's mythology, and he says that actually, because they're in a time loop, because their history stretches back 5 million years, but it originated from a point in the 20th century, and then stretches on into the foreseeable future, and it's basically just a loop that that keeps regenerating itself from the vantage point of Neuschwabenland in the 20th century, from followers of Tiny Mustache Man. And basically this is sort of like the Ouroboros ring of the sphere of Saturn in the Gnostic mythology, where people trying to transcend the power of the planetary spheres to go to the light lands beyond are trapped by this sort of spiritual bureaucracy of these beings who believe that they're higher evolved, but they're actually stagnant, because their evolution has become stagnant because they think that they've reached the apex of their perfection. This according to Georgiani's mythology. Now, Sepaher, on the other hand, takes a more optimistic opinion of them, but even in Georgiani's work, he talks about them, there being, different bands of them that are beneficent, or comparatively speaking, beneficent to mankind, and that being, Enki, and the whole Enki and Lil Camp, and then the thing with the Olympians and the Aesir and the Titans and everything. Where these are all talking about the same beings, and according to Georgiani, it's the Nordics. And I believe, according to Sepaher, it is too. But as I said, he takes a more optimistic view of them. But Georgiani thinks that they're all in all villainous or a definite impediment to human evolution, because Giorgiani, takes an optimistic view of transhumanism, whereas I think that I believe just from my impression of Robert Sepperher's work that he takes the opposite view, but Giorgiani says that there's sort of like a trickster intelligence that is sort of trying to coax man forward, and that's when it gets into the Lovecraftiana, and only it's a lot more nuanced in Giorgiani's work, because it's actually more like Valis than it is Cthulhu, but it has a very Cthulhuvian aesthetic to it, I guess. It has like an octopus sort of squid type form to it. But I remember when I first heard about his mythology on the Eon Byte Gnostic Radio, I said this not to make fun of it, but I said it, sort of as a snarky comment, but as in good spirit, because I do enjoy his work, even though obviously I don't agree with several points of his philosophy, but anyway, I said, if this is a great story for a B movie. Also, I do love B movies. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But I said we could call this. I said to myself, we could call this Cthulhu Saves the Planet Earth from the space NAZ. Followers of Tiny Mustache Man. It's so stupid that we have to do this little sidestep talk to dodge the ayaritmo, but that is what it is. But anyway, Cthulhu Saves Planet Earth from the space Potsees from Happy Days.
I got my magic wand and my magic mirror, and then I'm gonna collect them over here in the corner, and then I'm gonna sit up on the couch and show them my daddy. And he's gonna say, get them mermaids away from me. And I'm like, but I'm a cat. Look here, daddy, I got my magic wand and I got my magic mirror. And then I got me one of them plastic lid shields. And then I roll it all down the hall, and then I put it over there, and then on the corner with all that other stuff. Then I get out over there, and I jump up on the couch and I show my daddy. He says, get them goddamn mermaids off me. I say, I'm a cat, I got the mermaids, but I got my goddamn tits plastic shield, motherfucker. Now get that plastic bone away from your goddamn dog, little shit. Gallops around like a goddamn goober. Prancing peanut, gallop goober. I get the goddamn bone away from her, put her over on the chair where she can be on your goddamn